Hello, everybody. How are you? My name is Kira, and I appreciate you hopping on with me, listening, and I hope that you are receiving any sort of inspiration. Just real quick, I need to make some adjustments. Hold on. There. Woo. See that light changing? All right. So today I want to talk about connection, the fifth dimensional connection, and really this is just in its simplest form, returning to what it means to connect with one another and holding space for one another while we are going through these dimensional shifts, as well as our spiritual gifts and holding space for one another and why it's important. So first and foremost, my whiteboard. I am way too visual to not use a whiteboard. So thank you for just hanging out with me and hanging out with the colors. So first and foremost, connection. A lot of us, and I'm speaking more from myself and my own inner growth, as well as the way that I've been working with people for a little over 10 years now. And what I mean by that is energy work, being an intuitive, a mentor, holding sacred space for people while they really unwind their mental and emotional and spiritual wounds. So that way they can cultivate within the inner knowing and connectedness that has always been there. It's just this shift in awareness, and that's not necessarily something cognitive. It is an energetic internal connection and realization and actualization of the self. Okay, so a lot of us who are on this awakening practice or just starting the spiritual stuff, and we're out there dabbling and we're looking on the internet, and it's like, what's right, what's wrong, blah 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 blah. Yeah, that can get really, really confusing for the ego, and especially people who are just in their awakening process. So a quick little tidbit about me. I have always been that go-to person. Even as a child, people would just unload on me. I was an empath when I was younger. I just absorbed everybody's emotions around me, and it was really, really challenging to deal with. I never had anyone to say, oh, hey, you're an empath or you're an intuitive. While I was growing up, I have a Judeo-Christian background. All of those feelings and everything was too much for people. And I'm not the only one out there, so if you are an empath or if you have been that person who is too much for people, or if you feel too much, you're just too much, welcome to the uprising and your leadership for the new earth, because we are the ones who get it on a total different level. And so we have the ability to tap into our power and connect and shift some of these vibrations, which we'll get into. And I want to encourage you to really step into your mastery as an intuitive, as an empath, so that way you can remember and utilize your spiritual gifts through the dimensional shifts, and hopefully assist and connect with the people around you, your friends, your family members, wherever you feel called. And again, especially when we're empaths, we tend to take on others' responsibilities and process for them. But this is more of the reversal of setting boundaries while holding space if we feel called for that other person. So or coach or teach them, because you might have people that come out to you and say, hey, well, you're into crystals or cards or any divination tools, or hey, you read Abraham Hicks, or you stepped away from this church, this blah 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 blah, whatever. In your path, you were probably someone who took the road less traveled. Yeah. So if you've watched my other videos, which I encourage you to do so, we're going through a dimensional shift, many dimensional shifts. So this is the Earth, and I'm usually going to go back to this little diagram I've come up with, an explanation. So this is the Earth, and this is the central sun, okay? And right here, let's just say this is our sun, okay? Okay. So there is information consciousness shooting into our sun, and this is our Earth, okay? And when this high vibrational energy, consciousness, awareness, identification outside of the human experience meets us, all of Earth's inhabitants, on the mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical planes, we get shifted, and again, here we go. This is the third dimensional, if you've been following me. The third dimension, I've been beginning to show these little shapes. So this one I'm calling the third, this was what I'm calling the fourth, and this is what I'm calling the fifth. And we are just living in the third, fourth, and fifth right now. Maybe eventually, if I get feedback from you guys, I'll start going into these other higher realms. But just for right now, because that's kind of what most people are understanding, we're living right here. Okay, so this third dimensional plane, a lot of it has been division within and division without, compare and contrast, good, bad, these extreme highs and lows. This is getting broken down, and it's about to dissolve. And what I mean by that is just the ways of operation, the way that we have connected or disconnected from within and without with one another, in our communities, as countries, within our family units, okay? So that's what this video is all about today. It's about connection and where we're going over here into the fifth dimension. While we're hopping and breaking down, going through a little shift in resonance here into the fifth dimensional plane. So for right now, I'm just going to draw the fourth dimensional field and the fifth dimensional field around the Earth, okay? And what these dimensional fields, what they are doing is they have the container or the resonance or the energetic capacity to hold and amplify these vibrations of consciousness. So what does that mean for us? That means that the Earth and all of the collective spiritual wounds, and I mean, you guys, I'm talking of like eons old, before human life was here. That's all getting cleansed. I don't know if anyone's talking about this, but I am, because I see it. I am a seer of many dimensional realities, and yeah, that's pretty far-fetched for a lot of you guys to really wrap your mind around, but I've been in it for about 16 years now, and it is my pleasure to share with you what I see and break it down and make it practical and easy for you to understand what is going on, why you're going through an awakening process, why things are going haywire, and it's for your benefit. Okay, it is for our benefit, it's for our collective benefit. It is beautiful because it is moving us to these fields, the fourth and the fifth and higher, so that we can experience peace and harmony within, and it forces us to shift these lenses in the third dimension, and that is what is happening. It is happening within. We are being forced to look at belief systems that don't serve us. We're being forced to mend relationships within, really learn, and this is the kicker. And this is the juice. This is the meat, the nourishment I want you to absorb from this. love. Self-love is your vehicle and your ease through the ascension process. Because the central sun, so I'm just going to draw a C, the central sun and the portal of our sun, is slamming us with these high vibrations that, again, are dissolving this third dimensional plane, okay? Individually, collectively, we are being forced to fasten our seatbelts, to say the least, and jump on board with self-love. And you guys, it's not the easiest task, because a lot of us, if we're saying a prayer, dear God, please shift, do this, allow this to happen, blah, 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 blah. You're calling out for love. We are all calling out for that shift in love. And your ego may not recognize, hey, I am actually calling in the dissolving of this third dimensional plane. Anything that is unloved, as you are calling upon more love, these higher vibrations, meaning no conditions, is going to move you into a space for your ultimate freedom, into self-love. And so whatever is unloved will move to the surface for your processing. That could be physical, that could be emotional, that could be spiritual. If you keep on seeking and seeking and seeking, and I'm just going to talk real quick about my experience, I had to break down some very, very deep spiritual beliefs that shattered my reality. But guess what? I got to learn what it meant and what it means to be still and to know. And that comes with practice, humility, and being willing to go back to devotion that is in all of our hearts. And however you want to translate that, let it be yours. So in connection, all of us are going through calling on love, calling in peace at a collective level, okay? This is not religious. And I want you guys to know that this is not any sort of religion. These are the fundamentals of connection, okay? And we have distorted that, all of us, myself included. When we are born, we create these lenses based upon our experience, our human experience, and we know that. And we create these belief systems, and the word love can be a trigger point, because we can remember, oh gosh, like this person said I love you, or this wasn't supposed to be like this, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, we are calling on love. And so when we do that, when we call in this high vibration, this experience of no conditions at the collective level right now, we are being called to connect with one another, at such an organic way, where we have to really, really relearn what it means to listen, relearn what it means to connect, relearn how not to project onto one another because of your codependence and your validation issues. Yep, that's being purged. Some of this 3D stuff, that's a lot of where we're at right now. That's coming up. So if you're working through some of this in your relationships, whether it be family, with your coworkers, romantic, etc., choose to step away from the emotions of your ego and your pain points and shift your mind. And I hope you get this, shift your mind and knowing, oh, this is just allowing and working itself out for me, so my mirror person or the people around you can move to their highest alignment for their individual and our collective dimensional shifts. Okay? All right, so I'm going to move on. I hope you're able to grasp that. I'm going to shift the imagery here. Oop. As I'm doing this, I'm going to talk about connection. I brought up validation and codependence for a reason. As I'm working on other people, whether it be in a group or one-on-one, usually I've noticed a theme. There are collective themes, and I do tap into the collective consciousness to give you guys information. And a lot of, again, what we're breaking down right now, dissolving, and some of it is cosmic in nature, which again triggers us to go into these spaces. And again, I'm not an astrologer, so I don't really bring in like the whole planet thing, but I do see planets that are active, that are co-creating with us, and that is important, and it's relative, and I'll touch on that a little bit today. Our first two chakras, and this is based upon the 7 basic chakra system. Later on in this video, I'm going to be talking about earth portals and human energy field chakras. Newsflash, they're changing. And I'm not talking about, oh yeah, that we know that the earth has chakra points or ley lines and pyramids and activations and blah 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 blah, all this stuff that's out there. I'm not that person. I just share with you what I see and how the earth is breaking down the old paradigm. But for now, so those of you who, yeah, I do stick figures. So those of you guys who are into or learning or into self-study with the 7 basic or 12, or we have infinite amount of energetic wheels for our multidimensional functions. For right now, I'm going to put an R for the root place and an S for the sacral. These two in the 3rd dimensional matrix, okay, are getting triggered the most. And the reason why is because we really, not only at the individual, but ancestral lines are cleansing through us. Those high vibrational cosmic energies are shifting us. And the stories in our relationships and fear and our foundations, our money, our survival mode, our primal natures are being called to cleanse. The reason why, we talked about holding energetic space. Okay, well, I'll leave that box there. So just for, let's say this big vibration of cosmic energy is entering all of us. Look at what happens here. Should I see that? This little box, can it hold that space? We need to do this. And it's actually literally sending some of us into shock. What I mean by that is some of us, I'm giving you kind of some feedback of what I've been hearing for people. I don't know who I am anymore. My identification, what the F is going on? What am I? Who am I? I cannot go back. That's really what we're saying here. I cannot go back to the old ways. They don't work for me anymore. And the reason why is that these wheel points are literally expanding to hold this high vibration. Okay? And yeah, that's sloppy. So guess what this vibration is? It is the actual material, energy, and blueprints. Okay, everything is energy, blueprint, form, or matter, experience. Okay? And it moves through us, and that's when we experience what we want or don't want based upon the vibration. Okay, so whatever. Moving on. This vibration is literally clearing this out because we're an antenna and we are being forced to stretch, to stretch, okay? And the reason why is because that's the Earth. These cosmic energies, again, central sun into our sun, hits our planet and even the star system, shifts us into the fourth and fifth dimensional frequencies. So you need to clear out because you are an antenna or an anchor for these collective experiences. I hope that makes sense. If not, leave comments below. If I need to make another video about this, I will. So as we are literally making room or clearing out our temples or clearing space, purifying, spiritually getting on board, we're being called to not only heal our relationships right now, but I want to share something real quick with image. Okay, so same thing. These 2 points are widening, so that way we can hold this high vibration, right? Because what I am seeing next for us, if you've been following me, I've been talking about the heart. The heart has been widening, and the heart is going to be key. Love, remember that? Love, 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 love. That's internal. That's internal heart space. And that is your personal and our collective work to do that together. Okay, we are one another's mirrors. Hold space for one another. Love one another. Realize that there is a child inside of all of us that wants and needs validation. It doesn't have to be sticky, icky, none of that stuff, but it can be evolutionary. To say, hey, I see you. I am listening. How do we work through this together? Make genuine connections with one another, you guys. There's so much of this pretentious, egotistic, spirituality gunk going around. Drop into this heart. This heart space is where it's at. This is really, really what we are seeking at the end of the day. And when we move into the fifth dimensional space, it is the heart that moves us there. Okay? I want you to think about that for a moment. Really let that settle in. So as the heart space is clearing out too, and we're pulling in that very high vibration, the first 2 chakras are clearing out. So that way we can anchor into the earth. All right. And what I'm seeing next, what we're going to, this is internal connection because we're an antenna. We process energy. Okay. Many different frequencies. We are frequency. We are layers and layers and layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of perfection. Perfect frequencies. Okay. In order for us to live and be. We are creation, right? So as these points are cleansing out, what I'm seeing next is the brow space. Most of us are, if you're living, your third eye space has already been activated and is open. We're going to be connecting down, all right? So third eye, heart space. We want our mind and our heart aligned. And what I mean by that, it's really easy to say, oh, just align your heart, align your mind. Again, if we're calling on love and calling on that alignment, our lenses will need to shift. We need to surrender. And usually we have a little inner knowing of, oh, this might need to shift. oh, this keeps on repeating itself. Am I doing the same thing over and over and over at work? Can I soften a little bit? Do I need to make more boundaries so that way my voice can come forward? I have knowledge to share. I have wisdom to share. I'm a great listener. Okay, so how much of this space can shift for you? Okay, so what I'm seeing next is the brow space, the heart space, and these two spaces, and this is collectively, is the next phase of our alignment for this fifth dimensional collective space and collective experience. Okay, and so if we were going to put a number on this dimensionally, let's say that this is the fourth dimensional wave or gateway, which I have a video coming on that next, all about gateways over the next 6 months, into the fifth dimension. All right, and this is, you guys, please never undervalue the heart of connection within one another, in our communities. If you are someone, I mean, a lot of us, we utilize social media to connect with one another. We are all looking for connection. We're all looking to be heard, to share love. If we really, really slow down and listen to one another, we want the same things. We want a quality of life. And it's easy to stay in this icky, sick, third dimensional stuff and play a blame game. But at the end of the day, you have power. You have the power to shift. You're being forced to shift. You can make it a little bit easier on yourself and those around you, okay? And I know the collective consciousness, you guys, as these energies are moving us, like we're picking up on everyone's stuff. What I can leave you with today is get into the practice of pulling your cosmic energy. So even just like visualizing white light or whatever color your subconscious, ask yourself, what color do I need today? Think it, hear it, think I'm crazy, whatever. Whatever color you think about first or hear or see, send that through you into the earth. And that's going to help anchor you. Even if you have, and if you don't, and have this right now, if you have not taken the time to cultivate this, cultivate any sort of daily meditation. It can be as easy as 2 minutes. You wake up, you sit there, you close your eyes, you take some deep breaths, ask what color you need today. Bring the cosmic energy. Everyone knows it has access to this. Above the crown chakra. Okay, so just right here. Down into and through the vessel and into the earth plane, okay? And that is going to help every single day. Choose to be an observer of your space. Know that our foundation, this little tiny container, is being activated to cleanse and clear out and widen, so that way we can break down the collective consciousness of the third dimension and our individual awareness as well. So real quick, I want to share with you what I'm seeing right now and how it's relative to what I just explained to you. So the earth is going through 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this overlap, right? You guys see that? Remember this gateway I just wrote? I just made. Okay, so let's do this third eye, the heart space, and these little tiny chakra points that are being activated. Okay, to cleanse and clear out? All right. So when we make the room internally, and we move from these little tiny energetic spaces within, you know, we're breaking this down mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and at times physically too. It's because the earth, this earth dimension again, is cleansing and dropping out. So we are literally being forced to widen this space to have the energetic containers for the fourth and fifth dimensional areas. Okay, and that I'm going to leave you with that, because this is going to be actually taking me into my next video. So please watch that. This is going to be, that next one is going to be about around the next 6 to 7 months about the fourth and fifth dimensional earth planes and how we are breaking this down internally and how it's like slingshotting us forward into these spaces. But right now, you guys, we're still kind of hanging out in this like really strange like space, okay? Things are getting pushed to the surface. I keep on kind of saying that. So do your best, you know, do your best to connect with yourself. Do your best to connect with one another. I know that it can be frustrating sometimes. If you need to just rest and integrate, do that. If you feel called to come forward and really start speaking your truth, these fourth and fifth dimensional realities are already active, and we need you. We need you to start using your voice. We need you to start utilizing your spiritual gifts and sharing with one another. We need your spiritual gifts, because those spiritual gifts are actually the containers for this space. That's really messy. You get what I mean? Because it's so much cosmic high awareness when we utilize our spiritual gifts or tap into that. And yes, again, belief systems and fear over here is getting wiped out. But that high awareness is the foundation for the fourth and fifth dimension, all right? So I encourage you, if you are new to this spiritual stuff, I highly encourage you to go within, to listen to your own direction, to cultivate your intuition and follow that. Sometimes you will be led to teachers. And I just, you know, want you to be aware that yes, there are tricksters out there that are participating in this gunk. But there are beautiful people out there too, all over the world, that will help you take you to the next level for this fourth and fifth dimensional integration. Okay? And you know, everything, all of this wisdom and knowledge is accessed within. All of us have the same connection to source. Okay? It's just a matter of calling on that love of no conditions to break that stuff up. So that way you can keep on purifying the mind, purifying the heart, purify, purify, purify. Because that is what we need within our communities, within ourselves, and with one another. Because that's where we're going. Okay, you guys? And again, I'm Kira King. If you are enjoying what I'm sharing, this is a little bit longer video, please subscribe. I have an Ascension update for you next. If you'd like to join, I have a Facebook group. It's called Ascension for the Modern Mystic. And this space is where I'm really pushing people to share their spiritual gifts. We have talks. We have a lot of really fun stuff coming up. Definitely hang around. Thank you for joining me today. Bye.